Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening to all. Welcome to the last panel, panel number 20 of the NSCAC Soccer Hub Online Summit. It's been 5 long days with 4 hours per day of content, of discussion. I think it was very interesting. I'm sure that you were able to get a lot of content about this summit. Now, to finish up and to wrap up this discussion, we're going to try to answer the question, what does the future look like for the Canadian men and women's national teams, okay? And for that, we invited Carolina Morace, Michael Findlay, and Alf DeBlassis. Alf DeBlassis is not in at the moment. We'll try to understand what is happening. But I will introduce our moderator, that it will be Richard Bucciarelli. Here is Richard. Hello, Richard.
Hello, Ricardo.
Okay, now Carolina. Carolina, ciao.
Hi, ciao.
And finally, Mr. Findlay. So here it is.
Hi, how are you? And thanks for calling me Mr. Very nice of you to do that.
So thank you very much to all. I will try to fix the situation with Alf. Now I leave the panel to you, Richard. Okay, guys, see you in 45 minutes. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. So welcome, Carolina and Michael, and let's hope we can get Alf on. But in the meantime, maybe just for some of our viewers, I'm sure most are familiar with both of you. But if you wouldn't mind, just introduce yourself and let us know maybe what was your history and background with the Canadian national team, because that's obviously the topic for this afternoon. And also maybe just a little bit else about your coaching, your background in coaching, and what are you doing now? And maybe Carolina, we can start with you.
So I coach the Canadian national team in 2 years and a half, 2009, 2011. Actually, we won the CONCACAF at this time. And I have a UEFA Pro license. I coach also Italian national team, Caribbean national team. Last year I coached Milan women's. And now I'm working for Sky TV for men's Serie A as a commentator.
Okay, fantastic. And Michael?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Much appreciated. My coaching background is very specific to the Canadian product. A former technical director of British Columbia Soccer Association, and then director of our National Training Center program, and then moved into our national team staff, and have been part of that staff as a head coach at U15 and U18, U20, U23, and then joined the senior staff with Benito Floro, and then became the interim coach until further changes. So, and now my role is continues with the Canadian Premier League as director of football, and also as a consultant with FIFA's technical department.
Okay, fantastic. So it's great to have you both, and I'll get started, and maybe I'll start with Carolina. If you can just tell us a bit about your experience as the head coach of the women's team. What was it like when you came in? Obviously you had a background as a player and coach in Italy, before you came to Canada, and did you find anything challenging uniquely when you came there? And tell us a little bit about that.
But when I came, I substitute Evan Pellerud, that was a Norwegian coach. And of course, his style was just a little bit different than my style. He want to have long ball, so strong players that can control the ball and go with the power, go on the net. So I prefer to play a different way. I prefer the ball possession, and everybody in Canada say, no, you can't change. The player there is no aptitude to do that. And I remember that I say, no, everybody can do it, and it's something that the player will be enjoy, because they will think what they are doing. So, and we change everything. It was the warm up that was we did in a different way, the style of the play, everything, and was good because the player they answer in a good way, and immediately they improve their skill physically and technically.
And that's an interesting point. That so these are, obviously these are senior players, adult players, and so it wasn't just maybe good results that you got with the team, and eventually having some success at CONCACAF, obviously, but even individually you were able to get players to improve technically and physically by changing the system, right?
Yeah, of course, if you want to play with the ball possession, you have to change also the skill, the athletic skill of the player. They have to be able to move quick, to change the direction, to fake and to turn. So it's just that for my philosophy, football is a mix of always more than one combination. You run and you kick, you run, you jump and you header. So is always a combination and a mix of movement. So the player has to be able to pick up as soon as possible the right solution. So I try to make them to think a lot. And of course, honestly, now my methodology, my philosophy of football is changed since I went away from Canada. Of course, I have more experience now.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll say I see Alf is here. Hi, Alf. Are you connected with audio now? Oh, okay. Well, while he gets connected, I want to bring Michael into it, and of course, Michael, I'd like you to speak, about the men's team, and maybe a similar question, because you were involved at the provincial level for a long time, and then you got involved, men's youth teams and eventually senior teams. So tell us a bit, what was it like when you got in, and what types of changes, if any, did you see?